or less, sitting underground, waiting to be mined. Now, how are they going to get the equipment, the business framework to start to mine 2.6 billion tons of coal?
I can tell the audience that there are some businesses that you can go into with very little or no capital. Like I said earlier, there is what you call biodiesel, and then you have
biodiesel.
Biodiesel.
Okay.
There are thousands and thousands of people all over the world who want to buy biodiesel. In fact, NNPC is supposed to be adding 10% biodiesel into our crude oil to produce petroleum. And very soon they will be, they want to start large farms. Instead of starting very large farms, they should allow young people to have maybe 50 acres, 10 acres, 20 acres to produce for them and give them a contract. They don't have to give them the money. What they can do, what government should do for our young people is to guarantee them a plot of land, say 50 acres, and give them a certificate of occupancy. And then give them tractors to clear the land, give them the fertilizer to put on the land, give them the agrochemicals.
You seem to have a lot of insight into all these newfangled businesses.
Right.
So are the rest of us just suffering from lack of information? And where can we get these, the kind of information that will open our eyes to the other kind of opportunities that are out there? Mr. Akere, do you have anything to add to that?
Well, I think when we talk about small, medium scale industry, and we talk about mining, it's by no means a small, medium-scale industry at all when you talk about especially getting things like bitumen out of the ground. But if you take it from what we have seen with regard to telecoms, of course, telecoms is also not any SME funds that is going to invest and make success out of telecoms. MTN has put a lot of money. Bharti or Airtel have also put in a lot of money. We understand that there is a lot of there's cash deficiency in the CDMA sector, and these are big players like Visafone, Starcoms. They are crying for lack of cash. If you bring in people like Anglo Gold or people that have the knowledge and deep pockets, they create where the small and medium scale people can then play a role, like providing the trucks for transporting and so on and so forth.
Okay. Thank you very much. We've been talking about visionary leadership. We've been talking about diversity of the economy. We've been talking about the creation of a whole army of small to medium-sized businesses. And we still await the appearance of the irrepressible Mrs. Awoshika, who is going to be here shortly with us. Let me open the floor to questions.
With respect to the renewable energy that is moving, now, most of the people doing investment in renewable energy presently in Nigeria, what we are doing is projecting the works that are happening outside, like selling panels, solar panels, and things like that. Now, in Nigerian universities, as bad as it might look like, now there are some students coming up with researches every year about improvements, technologies. Like I graduated from Federal University of Technology, and at the end of the year, there were a lot of researches. Mine was one, and at the end of the day, all of them were dumped. But if we can actually build enterprises on some of these novel ideas, like some of those ideas of producing fossil fuels, producing biogas, producing things like that, there are ideas in the universities that are lying fallow. But it's not just the government this time around. The private sector, they have the wherewithal to invest in these technologies and grow this technology, because China, all these other countries we are mentioning, they grew because there were a lot of people, young people, graduates, they were graduating, they were taking their technologies they produced while they were in school, and they turned them into businesses. I think the private sector should make a move and look out for investment in these areas. These are actually areas that are coming up, and I think it will make a whole lot of difference. Thank you very much.
I mean, I worked for Microsoft for about 8 years, and I know for sure that Microsoft used to have a direct link with universities. So why is that not happening in Nigeria?
the universities need to reach out and link with industry. That's where companies come in. However, companies are also short-term in outlook, and it doesn't matter, especially if you are a PLC, you're looking at the next quarter's numbers. So whatever you're looking at, adopting, whether it is innovation or some new solution or new product, you look at how you can immediately bring it to market. Now, if you can engage universities to get that, you would do it as a company. However, there has to be an incentive for the company to do that. In places like US, where Microsoft or HP or some of these other outfits exist, there is an incentive when you go into pure R&D, and they even go and build some aspects of the universities or institutions there so that they can collaborate, develop the technology, and they will have a lock for a period of time on those technologies that they have co-developed so that they remain competitive for a period of time.
How can that movement kind of begin where companies see value in doing this?
There are not many companies around. However, companies do not exist as charities, because endowment of chairs could be a CSR.
It is often
and in that case, there is really no, the First Bank didn't do it to get something. They did it because they felt that is the right thing to do. I remember in HP, I believe out of every 8 investments that we put money into internally, only 1 will succeed. So the success rate is very low for those kinds of ventures.
Dr. Awusida, what do you...
Government all over the world must create the enabling environment for all of us to tap into. If the enabling environment is not there, look, when will there be land fallow between Lagos and Ibadan? I can't go there and say, look, I want to farm. Somebody's going to say, like, come and take your food, come and do this and all the rest. But if government decides that all this land, and it will take away crime. The only reason that we see armed robbery between Lagos and Ibadan is because there's no life. Between Lagos and